Okay, good afternoon. I'm Oluwole Aboyade, and I'm here in the class of Creativity and Design here at Covenant University. If you have a digital device and you want to record the class, like a smartphone or wherever, you are free to do so. I encourage that always. It's good for your archive. Also, today we will be focusing on design thinking in the advanced format of it. Design thinking as it relates to design from idea to product. That's bringing your idea to physical product. You can see I'm wearing something you cannot say somebody else has worn before. What I'm wearing is unique to me. It doesn't belong to any other space. It belongs to my mind and my space. And you will see how you use design thinking to design for what? A purpose. You use design thinking to design for a purpose. Design thinking is for human-centered design. So we're focusing on design thinking. In the African space. Yes. Design thinking in the African space, and you can add and beyond. Yes. Design thinking in the African space and beyond as it relates to bringing idea to product for a purpose. So to give you value. I'm wearing that value and you will see how that goes. Some of you have done that in this class and I will be sharing the example with you. Now, if you are designing, you also want to remember that sometimes we have to do what we call idea generation techniques. I have three forms of idea generation techniques. The first one is think in reverse. So let's go to the next slide. The first one is think in reverse. You can think in reverse when you are doing your idea generation. Apart from thinking in reverse, you can challenge assumptions. Challenge assumptions. And apart from challenging assumptions, you can have a change of environment. You can have a change of environment. Change of environment. You can have a change of environment. Now, also, under design thinking, you also have ability to remember that you can use storyboard or storytelling to bring your idea to reality. How many of you remember, and I'm just going to switch to this quickly, how many of you remember there's a group of students in this class that designed this last year? How many of you remember that? They did script writing last year. Yes. They put it on an envelope. Now, they did not know that that script writing can actually become something of value that is usable under usability. And you remember now, the name of the students are Ade, Esri, Oluwaferomi, Adebusola, Ogedengbe, Amanda Ukem, Christian Jerome Amarachi, and Adeniyi Adedaola Faith. They designed this script writing on an envelope. And from the envelope, it took us to this, a t-shirt, like a singlet. Now, if you're wearing this by the beach or wherever, somebody will be learning about script writing from this. As a matter of fact, it will provoke the thought of people. Do you know that? Yes. Because what they are looking at is also affecting their intelligence, their emotion, their thought, and their what? Their behavior. So that is how you design for a purpose. Also, that same envelope design ended up not only as a t-shirt, but as a coffee cup. I posted it on Facebook and I posted the thing there. Just to remind people that you can post your content on Facebook and turn them into a mug that you can have in your office as a coffee cup. Those are products. People use these products. If I put this in a trade fair, as a matter of fact, I have had 2 students from the previous class come over here to say, oh, I love this. So you can imagine if I'm selling, they will buy. It's original. It's designing for a purpose. Let's go to the African dimension. In the African space, some of you are used to weddings, traditional wedding, naming ceremony, graduation, and so. And sometimes you want to go and buy Kampala or Adire or lace you want to buy attire for the event. But when you go and buy the attire in the market, somebody will not call you and say, that material you bought, somebody has already bought that type of material. There's no originality there. So for me, I said, okay, if I'm going to come to the class of creativity and I want to teach design thinking, as it relates to designing originality, I need to be able to wear it. I need to be able to make it visible. So what I did was, I said, I don't want beads hanging around my neck that's too heavy. I can still wear it on my attire. All I have to do is do what? Simple design with creative intelligence. Put the beads on a piece of paper, take a picture, do repetition, transfer it to the material I love, and there I go. I look unique. Nobody can say, if me and my friends, we use this for a naming ceremony, or for maybe a birthday party, nobody can say we saw this attire in Oshodi. It is impossible. This attire can never be in Oshodi. Because the beads I even used to make it, I have given it to somebody else that has archived the beads. Everything you see here as to the beads is pure originality. You can never have a copy of this in the world again. That's originality. So, and that is what design thinking is all about. It's about bringing originality to product of values to solve a global and local problem. And you can see what your students did here. First, they start by doing script writing, the idea of script writing, educational value on an envelope. From the envelope, it transferred to a singlet. A child can wear this to school proudly, and his friends will be asking, what's script writing? It has become an educational value. Those are some of the things you have to have the thoughts about when you are designing for a purpose. I will show you the other one later by a postgraduate student, but let's keep on moving. So now we have that. Let's just move to the next stage. Okay, good. So now, I also want you to remember that under design thinking, let me go through my notes here. Under design thinking, okay, so under design thinking, you can use storyboard, like you saw that creation on that one. You can also remember that when you are designing, design thinking is for creative problem solving. Design thinking is for creative problem solving. Also, prototype is a powerful tool for design purposes because it helps speed up the innovation process and makes the outcome more relevant. It makes the outcome to be more relevant. That means if it's relevant, it has value. If it's relevant, it has what? It has value. So what I'm going to do now is that we'll see how it looks in the physical space. From having an idea, say I'm designing for a wedding, I'm designing for a naming ceremony, I'm designing to teach the children about script writing, and I want them to be able to wear the design so that usability is there. Once you use design thinking and you are not able to bring, once you are using design thinking, you must remember that from start, which is the idea should start with originality. That is why you saw the envelope. If there's demand for this t-shirt, we can always go back to the envelope to print more. Nobody in the universe, the name of the student who did this is still here. Even if they have gone to America, to Australia, we will still be calling their name. It's their work. Even under copyright protection, you don't need to go to the lawyer first before you start the copyright. You can start the copyright from how you build your originality. If I take this, say for example, Coca-Cola said, give us 5 million of these t-shirts like this, of these singlets like this. If there's a demand for that, you now say to Coca-Cola, okay, I don't have a problem. They'll say, is it copyrighted? You say, we started with envelope. They'll say, wow. Get a lawyer to just do the paperwork, and that's it. You're on your way. you getting my point? That's the idea. So now you must remember that from start of idea, you must go through the process, and the process sometimes is unique to the design. The process sometimes is unique to what? To the design. So don't be afraid of failing. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. We learn every day. So when you are now starting from the start of idea, you must go through that creative process. And that creative process can never be really defined because it's unique to environment, it's unique to language, it's even unique to culture. Do you understand that? If you build a website for Nigerians and you forget that Yahoo boys can hack the website, what will happen to your website? You will not be able to make money from that website. Because you are not factoring the idea that we have a lot of jobless people who are involved in that trade. It's a reality. We can't deny. Yes. So when you now look at this, from idea to that creative process, you must factor in the environment, the language, the culture, in getting the final product. Sometimes you will see, before I even printed this, I had to go into town to look for a good printer that can do the what? The printing process. The material that the print will stay on, if I wash it, it will not wash away. I have to go into market to do space intelligence to find that type of material. So your design thinking is not just sitting down with Figma or Adobe and you are just working on software and hardware. No, it involves a lot because it's about human-centered, it's about usability, it's about sustainability, it's about wealthy, healthy state of being. So now we move on to the next one. And also, I want to emphasize here, let me just get this one right. Okay. I want to emphasize here that the number of testers you should have is around 3 to 4 testers for each type of users you have. Yes, you must have at least 3 to 4. Like now, if after creating this, you must go to maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 and say, what do you think? So that when you have that collective users experience feedback, you'll be able to input that feedback to what the final product will look like before it goes to market. You understand? You can even expand it to become more like a research. But okay, let me see what the girls think about. You know, this is unisex. This is a small boy and a small girl can wear this. It's unisex. So you have to look at those factors. But is it usable by both sexes? Yeah, it is. Both materials here, they are usable by both sexes, both male and female, and I will talk on the other one later. So let's add to this and move on. So now also, so prototype fidelity, there's something called prototype fidelity. Prototype fidelity is the cost and the complexity of the prototype. Like for example now, if you have to do mass production of this, do you understand that it will be cheaper than if you are doing one individual? But sometimes you might even be able to get the material and the printing better if you know where to go. And you know, one of the issues is even knowing where to go to save you cost. Do we have to figure out where to go to save you cost? Yes. So also in so there are 4 stages you can apply to make brainstorming effective when you are coming up with ideas. When you are coming up with ideas, you can apply to make brainstorming effective. The first one is where everybody writes down their ideas. Everybody writes down their ideas, like this one that we did. And let me just show you what this person did about our class. In our class of creativity, we have something unique. And you can see the envelope. This was done by the postgraduate student in my class. they expressed everything about creativity and design on this envelope as to the topics, the things we're learning, and so on. And in the process of doing this, they also turn into a t-shirt. And it's used, this can be worn by both male and female. Can you see the simplicity in design, the originality that is there? There's no class that you will go to and they will say this creativity and design t-shirt or whatever belongs to them. No. And I'm going to give it to you guys to pass around and take a look at. Now, when you're looking at what you're looking at, you also have to remember you can take this same idea and apply it to when you are building your website, when you are building your applications. It's about originality. It's about what will make you stand out from every other provider of that service or product. So in our class of creativity, I'm dressed in a unique way, and if they take my picture and they say this is a teacher for creativity and design, is there any argument from what I'm wearing? There's no argument. Because the first question is, sir, how did you come about what you're wearing? Nobody has worn this in this campus. And they will never wear it. I'm the only one. So, and you can look at this t-shirt from the envelope idea to the t-shirt idea. I've watched this, somebody wore this and we watched it, there was no effect. As a matter of fact, it became even newer. And yes, I'm going to pass it around so that you guys can see. So you can see what we have on the t-shirt. But before the t-shirt, the idea came from the envelope. So you can just pass it around and feel it. And you can look at the details. And you can look at what the person is talking about. So when you're looking at that, you see that the envelope, we started from the envelope before we move to the final product. From idea to product of value. It's a product of value because it carries educational information about the class of creativity and design. And you remember a lot of you did a lot of envelope design last alpha this thing. And that is why we came up with this. This was what somebody did in this class about script writing. And this is what they have. So you can pass it on to also see how it ended up here. So I've not seen any of them. If they're in class, I will actually give them the t-shirts to take with. So we're now going to move to the part 2 of the class under design thinking, designing for humanity, designing for a purpose, designing products of value. We're going to move to the part 2 now. So we'll get to the part 2.